What's going on, guys? It's Krusty K's here from the Gold Boys Network, coming with the MLB slate preview for July 4th. Before we hop into this one, I want to remind everybody you can get all these odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into this slate. The first one, the Mets taking on the Washington Nationals. Jose Quintana versus Jake Irvin. So for me in this one, I like Jake Irvin a lot. I'm a guy, I think he's kind of emerging as a consistent starter in this Nationals rotation. For me here, it's a tough spot to back him, though, because you get the Mets, who obviously are crushing pretty much anything right now. But Irvin's pitched really well. So this game's pretty early. I think the bats could potentially be asleep. I'm going to roll with the first 5 under here with Quintana and Irvin. Washington doesn't scare me in terms of their offense. And like I said, the Mets, they have been crushing it, but, it's early. A lot of times, these early games, like a lot of times, like the solo day games during the week, they tend to go under. So give me the first 5 under here with these two starters. We'd like to see like a 0-0, 1-0 type deal after 5, and we get a cash. Our next one, the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Andre Pallante versus Martin Perez. You gotta give me the Cardinals here. Pallante is not a guy who I love to back, obviously, but I just think Martin Perez is in for a rough outing here. This Cardinals team, we've talked about it a few times now, the bat's really starting to wake up, and I just think this is a tough spot for Perez. He's came back from injury, pitched against the Braves, and now he has to face the Cardinals. No easy task here once again. Pallante, if he can give us 5 innings against this Pirates team that's really not hitting that well right now, I think, they could easily turn over to the pen and secure a win for us here. So give me the Cardinals on the money line. Our next one, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the New York Yankees. This is Frankie Montas versus Marcus Stroman. So for me in this one, it's always tough to back Stroman for me this year because I just don't feel like he's been as good this season as he was in years past. But that's where I'm going to go. Give me the Yankees on the money line. It's minus 170. Obviously, put in a parlay or something. Don't take that straight. But I like them to get the win here. Montas is a guy who pitched with the Yankees for a bit, real small stint, was hurt for most of it. And I really just don't like him in this matchup, truthfully. Obviously, heavily reliant on the fastball. I think this Yankees team can do some damage against him here. Stroman, we all know, sinker ball, changeup, looking to get weak contact, ground balls, and I think he can find just that against this Reds team. Our next one, the Houston Astros taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Framber Valdez versus Chris Bassett. So this is an interesting one here. Chris Bassett's a guy who I've talked about, numerous times. He's got a very big arsenal, throws a lot of pitches, can make teams, I think, kind of use that to his advantage against aggressive teams. So I do like Toronto here. I'm not a big Framber guy, especially on the road this season. He's just been getting absolutely tagged. That sinker's been getting hit. So I like Toronto on the money line here. They're a small dog at home. I love the value, honestly, because like I said, Framber's just a guy to me who continues to get line respect this year, and he's not the same pitcher we saw last year. So I think, anytime you see him pitching against somebody who it's a decent pitching matchup, I lean to the other team simply because, like I said, Framber continues to get line respect, and I'm not sure that it's justified this season like it was in years past. Our next one, Boston Red Sox taking on the Miami Marlins. Nick Pivetta versus Kyle Tyler. So Pivetta, reluctantly, I do like the Red Sox here, but it's not enough to bet on them personally. This is probably one of my least favorite games on the slate, truthfully. If you want to side, like I said, I'd go with the Red Sox, back Pivetta. Kyle Tyler's a guy who's making his 3rd start of the season. Looked pretty good against a very watered-down Phillies lineup. I think he struggles here. I think that's really like the angle for the Red Sox here, because I think they just kind of touch up Tyler, and Pivetta does enough to get them the win. But really have a hard time backing Pivetta at this price, minus 170 on the road. But I do think the Red Sox win this game. Our next one, Chicago White Sox taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Drew Thorpe versus Ben Lively. Cleveland is a whopping minus 215 here. I'm going to go with the Cleveland team total. I do think they win the game. Drew Thorpe's a guy who the biggest question's always been, how will the fastball play in the majors? So far, not well. So I really don't think that it gets any easier here. You get a team that's going to be left-handed heavy, who hits the fastball well. who's going to cause some problems for him, in my opinion. So I really like the Cleveland team total. I think they soar over it with relative ease here. I think Thorpe likely has a pretty short outing in this one. Our next one, the Detroit Tigers taking on the Minnesota Twins. Kenta Maeda versus Bailey Ober. This is another one. I don't love the pitcher, but I do like the Twins. -190 on the money line. Obviously, it's a steep price. So maybe pair with the Yankees. Get a little two-pick money line parlay there and call it a day. This Minnesota team, man, they're just crushing everything. Against righties, they're top 3 offensively right now. And I think Maeda, there's a lot of familiarity there with this Twins lineup, and I think he struggles. Bailey Ober, again, not a guy that I love to back, but I do like him at home. Do like him against this Tigers team that's really not hitting right now and striking out around 24.6% versus right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. So give me Minnesota here on the money line. Like I said, I'd probably pair with the Yankees. I should get plus money for that.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Gold Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Gold Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Chicago Cubs. This is Christopher Sanchez versus Jameson Taillon. So these games have been tough because you get the Phillies without 3 of their best hitters. Taillon has been definitely serviceable for this Cubs team. I've talked about him a couple times. Probably one of the more consistent starters in this rotation. The Cubs are the dog here, and that's where I'm going to go. I think this game's low scoring because the Cubs aren't really hitting, so I'm not like running to the window to back them. But I just think there's a lot of value here getting them at plus money. Facing this watered down lineup. As you guys know, the game that's going on today starts shortly. We are on the Phillies, but it's solely like a play on Zach Wheeler just dominating this lineup. I don't think Sanchez has that same success. I think he pitches well because the Cubs aren't really hitting. But in terms of runs, I think he's more likely to give them up than Wheeler is tonight. So give me the Cubs on the money line. Just a straight value play as a home dog with Taillon, who's been really good for them this season. Our next one, the San Diego Padres taking on Texas Rangers. This is Michael King versus Max Scherzer. Michael King is a guy who's had the strikeout stuff working as of late. Command always seems to be an issue, wastes quite a few pitches. Doesn't pitch super deep into games because of it. Scherzer still coming back from injury. Should be closer and closer to full go every time. But I do believe they're still going to limit him in some capacity just because from what I've been reading, what I've been seeing, Bochy wants to have this guy ready, in the postseason and late in the season when it matters. So I'm not super concerned there in terms of I think he's going to go probably 5-6 innings realistically. For me in this one though, I like the first 5 under. The total's at 8.5 for the game. We don't have a first 5 total yet. So first 5 under. I like these guys to pitch well. It's really just more of a Texas isn't hitting kind of thing. And I don't trust them to get to King. And then on the other side, San Diego, obviously their lineup's a bit scary, but Max has looked pretty good in his first 2 starts back. Pitched against Baltimore, obviously wasn't as good as, we would have hoped, but it's Baltimore, so take it for what it is. And now here, he only gave 2 runs against Baltimore. I think he can do something relatively similar versus the Padres, truthfully. Their lineup doesn't scare me nearly as much as Baltimore does. So I like the first 5 under a lot here. Our next one, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Oakland Athletics. Roansy Contreras versus JP Sears. I like Oakland. JP Sears, when he's at home, I've talked about this before, I like to back them. I like Oakland at home here. Roansy Contreras is the guy they just saw. They got to pretty quick, too. He only pitched, I believe, 3 1/3 innings. Didn't look good. Gave a lot of hard contact, a lot of walks, which we've always seen from Roansy, so not really a surprise. I think we see more of the same here. Now you got to go on the road. Like I said, Oakland's a team. They're just kind of weird. At home, they seem to play a lot better. So I like the Athletics on the money line here at -115. Our next one, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Seattle Mariners. Corbin Burns versus Bryce Miller. I'm all over Baltimore here. Love Corbin Burnes, love him in this matchup. It's a great spot for him. He's going to get a Seattle team who, I mean, they're going to try to stack lefties because that's what a lot of teams have done against him. But I'm just not sure it matters. You look at these lefties on their team and their splits, and with the way they strike out, I think Burnes just pitches well. He should be able to navigate this lineup, no matter how many lefties are in this lineup, solely because of how bad this team has been in terms of contact. So I like Burnes to pitch really well. Bryce Miller on the other side, I mean, he looked really good in his last start. But, I mean, this is the Baltimore Orioles here. Number one offensively against right-handed pitching over the last 30 days, last 14 days, whatever you want to look at, they're crushing the ball. So give me the Baltimore at a minus 140 on the money line. I think it's a great price. I know they're on the road, but Corbin Burnes and this Orioles offense, I'll take it, at any play with money line, truthfully.
Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets.
Our next one, the San Francisco Giants taking on the Atlanta Braves. This is Logan Webb versus Charlie Morton. I always say don't back Logan Webb on the road, but that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm back Logan Webb on the road. I'm not a big Charlie Morton guy. He's looked pretty good this season, definitely better than I thought he would look. But, I mean, this Giants team, they're not really hitting righties right now, so I guess that would be the main concern. But this is a team that can do some damage. We've seen it time and time again, and I really just like Logan Webb against this aggressive Braves team. That's really what kind of sold me here. They're super aggressive at the plate, one of the highest swing rates in all of baseball. Well, we all know about Logan Webb, elite ground ball pitcher. So if you're getting a team that's super aggressive and, getting a lot of early swings, a lot of early contact, he's going to pitch deep into this one and likely going to keep them, in check. So I like the Giants here on the money line. They are a small dog on the road. Not surprised it's the Braves, but give me the Giants on the money line. Our next one, the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Colorado Rockies. Tobias Myers versus Cal Quantrill. I'm going to take the under 10.5 in this one. It's a terrifying premise taking under at Coors. But Tobias Myers, I like his stuff against this Rockies team. He's going to see a lot of righties. They're a righty-heavy team, so that plays into his favor. And Cal Quantrill, I mean, he just finds ways to continue to pitch well. This guy just continues to pitch deep in games. Even at Coors, he just funnels splitters over and over again, and it's been working for him. So it's a scary, scary idea, but I'm going to take this under 10.5, and I really think we see this game. I mean, it could get close. Could see a 5-4 final score, but I believe we see under this 10.5 here. Our next one, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Kansas City Royals. This is Zach Eflin versus Alec Marsh. So for me in this one, I mean, I like Zach Eflin. I like him a lot better than Alec Marsh. I just have a hard time with this Tampa Bay team away from home. So I think ultimately I'm going to back Tampa Bay in the first 5. And it's kind of the angle we've been taking with this Royals team. They just don't hit in the first 5. We keep talking about it, and it continues to hold true. So give me Tampa Bay in the first 5. I like them on the money line here. I think they get it done for us. Likely like a 1-0 probably score, truthfully, because Tampa Bay, their offense stinks too. But I do like the Tampa Bay here in the first 5. Our next one and the last one, the slate, the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on Los Angeles Dodgers. Zach Gallen versus Landon Knack. So, I mean, I love Zach Gallen. I think I've talked about him quite a few times whenever he does come up. Obviously, this is a tough spot pitching against the Dodgers and on the road, but I'm going to go to the Diamondbacks here again. We were on them yesterday, and they didn't come through, unfortunately. They lost by a run, but I just like this spot, man. Landon Knack, he's a guy who I believe this Diamondbacks offense can get to. I mean, Gallen, while he's not as good on the road, he's still a good pitcher. I think he can keep this Dodgers team relatively in check. Should be closer to full go here, too, which I think really plays well. He went 6 innings on just 70-some pitches his last start. So if we get him closer to 90, I think 6 innings for sure out of him, and then hopefully the bullpen can hold it down for us. But I like the Diamondbacks here. I mean, this price is a little short, and it's because it's Landon Knack, but that's fine. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks on the money line here. I think they still win on the road behind Zach Gallen. That does conclude our slate, though. If you guys do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment. Before I hop off, I will give you my 3 favorite plays from this slate. So number 1, we are going to go with the first 5 under between the Mets and the Nationals. Number 2, we are going to go with the Cleveland Guardians team total over And then number 3, we're going to go with the Athletics on the money line. So those are my 3 favorite plays from this slate. Hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. As always, you can get all of my official plays at goldboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, don't want to hurt a gambler. Thank you, guys.